So I'm going to imagine you probably feel awkward around new people. Who doesn't? It's a pretty common thing. Same here. But I think that from what I've learned, I can tell you some things that could help you related to, body language and speaking. So in this video, I'm going to give you 3 tips that I believe are extremely helpful when it comes to making a good first impression, even if you're shy. So let's get started. Just so you know, I have a free 10-page PDF document talking all about how to be charismatic and confident in your own school as a teenager. So click it below when you want it. So what are these 3 tips? Well, they're known as friendship signals from this book, The Light Switch. And they are essentially like little signals to other people that, hey, I'm an open, friendly person, so we should hang out. And these 3 tips are eyebrow flash, which is basically where you do a little movement with your eyebrows up and down. It is head tilt, where you're kind of exposing a bit of your, neck area. And a smile, which is exactly what it sounds like. Now, all of these things have been proven to help with putting people at ease when you meet them. So if you think that this is all just a bunch of, hocus pocus or whatever, then hey, I don't know what to tell you. But I know what you're thinking now. Tondo, these tips, these like head tilts, these smiles, this stuff is all so goofy. Literally everybody is going to know that I'm doing it. Guess what? They're not. You see, I thought this exact same thing for a long time, honestly. But what I've realized, pardon me, is that this was just me feeling something called the spotlight effect. And the spotlight effect is essentially when you believe that people are paying more attention to you because you're doing something quote unquote wrong. So for example, if a person is lying and they think the other person can tell that they're lying, the person who is lying will now subconsciously start to act more deceptive, more nervous. This will in turn cause the person who they're speaking to think that they are lying, and it essentially becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So the other person doesn't really care that much about the little things that you're doing, if you're tilting your head a bit, or if you're smiling a bit, or if you're flashing your eyebrows. This stuff does not register to them. But if you act awkward, if you act nervous around them, and you start like kind of fidgeting, or you do it a bit like too, a bit too uncomfortably, like you look like you're uncomfortable when you do it, then it will cause the person to start to notice what you're doing. So how do you, mitigate this? Well, for one, you realize that this is just the spotlight effect. So if I don't think that I am being obvious, it will not be obvious. It's just as simple as that. But of course, with any skill, with any tip, practice makes perfect. So where can you practice these things? Well, pretty much any public area is fine, at the mall, the market, at, a movie theater. These are all good places because they're casual. You can try it as you're walking, you see somebody, you just smile, tilt your head, do an eyebrow flash, and maybe give them a fist bump. That's it. If they don't reciprocate, then nothing's lost, okay? But if they do, then hey, you probably did the friendship signal pretty well. So you can practice this in any public area. And remember, I know that this seems uncomfortable, It seems a bit, you know, like you're putting yourself out there. But it is worth it. Because eventually, these friendship signals, after you've done practice, after you have practiced them, they will start to become second nature to you. Because now, when you meet new people for real, then it will just become a normal habit that you do. And these will absolutely make it so much easier for you to start conversations with people. By the way, I have a ton of videos about how to actually start conversations, so check those out if you want tips. But yeah, so in summary, 3 tips that are extremely helpful are the head tilt, smile, and eyebrow flash. And you can do these things when you meet somebody new. But don't worry about being noticed, because it's just the spotlight effect. It's in your head, essentially. That's what it boils down to. It is in your head. And you can practice it a lot more if you go out and do it in public, low stakes, very casual environments. And yeah, eventually it'll become second nature to you. I still am practicing it, so it hasn't become second nature to me, but I'm sure it can for you. All right, that's it. Remember, subscribe, like, whatever you want to do, and take action. Learn from failure. See ya.